In this video, I wanted to talk about this, I'm going to say budget, very budget, basically copycat motherboard. Not copycat, generic motherboard that I got from Amazon. And the reason I'm talking about this weird, off-the-shelf, no-branded motherboard is because it's an 1155 chipset motherboard, so that means it supports Ivy Bridge, Sandy Bridge, if I'm correct. Chipsets, so that's second gen and third gen, I think. That's from 10 years ago. That's from 10 years ago, so it supports 10-year-old CPUs that I wanted to be able to use because I want to put Linux on it, and I'm making this specific application that I want some old CPUs. But the beauty of this board is it combines an NVMe drive and it kind of brings it up to speed and has Wi-Fi 6 support and all that crazy stuff. So they've taken new tech and old tech and they merged it into this one board. For me, I've not seen that a lot, and I thought that was pretty clever and novel. Maybe everybody's seen it and I'm just late to the game. Anyways, I thought we can take a look. I did have a sneak peek, but I wrapped it back up. So here's the board. It's pretty impressive in my opinion. High quality, I thought. Yes, it's low cost, and obviously they're here to make it budget friendly. So here's the NVMe slot. Supports up to 16 gigs of RAM. I'm going to put 8 on the system. DDR4, I believe. Here's the I/O. Has 6 USBs. I think they're all 2.0 and not 3.0, so I can't remember. HDMI, just your audio jack out. And then you have to put your own Wi-Fi card, so it doesn't have built-in Wi-Fi, obviously. It's an ITX size motherboard, so it's pretty small. Here's a little Easter egg. What do you see there? It says Foxconn on the CPU protector. So Foxconn probably made this, which to me is very surprising. And if you don't know who Foxconn is, they produce Apple's electronics, and they're the manufacturer for Apple, as well as Sony and Nintendo and etc. So they're like the world's largest electronics manufacturer. So they made this board. So I got even more impressed. And the price for this thing was kind of around $50 or less than $50 on Amazon. I will link it below if I find the link for what it is. 1155 CPU with an NVMe drive and kind of up-to-date I/O. Yeah, I was excited. I really enjoyed it. So far so that I didn't have a CPU air cooler for it. So I was lazy and I had a bunch of stock AMD coolers that came with my processors. So I thought, why don't I just stick it on? So I printed this bracket that some kind person developed on the internet. I will link it below so you can also use it, and it works pretty well. So it goes on the motherboard right there, and then you can put your AM4 stock coolers and mount it. But this one will not work with my stock cooler because I was being a bit, let's say, slow. And when I opened up the actual cooler, I realized it's completely different and it's not the way I thought it would be. I'll explain what I mean. Completely brand new, not even used. So that's the AMD one that you get when you buy a Ryzen 4500 or 4600G. Yeah, different style connector, and I completely botched that whole thing. I was assuming it was going to be the AM4 style, where the notch thing. Unless I'm being slow and stupid, but that definitely does not fit. Anyways, the bracket's great. So shout out to the person who made the bracket, and I printed it out. I'll overlay some footage. Overall, back to the board. So here's the board. Pretty impressive. I think this is awesome. And yeah, so if you're after what I'm after, which is old CPUs for Intel, and you want an NVMe drive to support the latest stuff, that it does exist. It does exist. And here it is. All right, if you enjoyed this video, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.